Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Podcast. And today, I actually have someone particularly special because it's actually my favorite line of business, my favorite type of insurance. It really is. Business insurance is very, very important, as I have multiple businesses and they need insurance. But life insurance, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And just so you guys know, the month of September, Life Insurance Awareness Month, and we actually have a very integral part of our organization here, a life insurance specialist. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Alejandro Khan.
Yeah.
I work here for, again, Comfort Insurance.
Yeah.
And we're here to provide you the best coverage that fits your needs so you can have some peace of mind in the future.
So there's a lot of questions out there, and I'm going to be asking you a couple of them.
Okay.
Some of them are in English, some of them are in Spanish, just so you know, because there's a lot of people out there that need their questions answered. And the problem out there, the very big problem, especially with insurance, is that people think it's a scam. People think that we're liars. People think that insurance salesmen are sleazy, that we sell people something that they don't need, that they don't want. And reality, man, let me tell you, insurance in multiple times in my life, you guys know this because if you follow me, you know, in 2019, I had a life-threatening accident, over $1 million in medical bills, and insurance covered every single dime. All I had to pay was $118. Yeah, that's a real sum too. Obviously, the insurance covered the rest, and I had to pay the insurance, the monthly bill. That's all I had to pay, besides those $118 copay that I had. But what we're going to be talking about today is life insurance. Question number one. And I have this question very, very common, and normally this comes from young folks. There's a young folk right here. Where they're asking, why is life insurance so important? Is there something I'm missing here?
Well, be honest with you, and I think the best scenario I can tell you about is I bought life insurance when I was only 25 years old.
Nice.
I got married, and all of a sudden, I started thinking about the future, if I'm going to have kids or we're going to buy a house, and there comes a lot of responsibility with that. And I did purchase at a very young age. I'm glad I still have it. It has a combination with some savings. And again, I was looking first is, if God forbids I die, who's going to be responsible for my credit card debt or any other debt that I have out there? Second is, who's going to pay the mortgage to my house? I had a house that I just bought for, and I'm like, wait, I don't want my wife or my kids to worry about that. Then, start thinking about kids, and all of a sudden it goes, yeah, we have public school. And you go, wait a minute, what's going to happen, if they need to go to college and I'm not here? And again, it gives you the peace of mind that you're looking for. But the bottom line, there's an income replacement.
Right.
That's what you're going to get out of this. And this is why it's so worth it. So, at the end of the day, there's two guarantees in life. They say debt and taxes. Well, let me take care of that debt part. I don't want to leave any financial burdens on my family, and I want them to continue their life as normal as possible.
I love that detailed answer, and you hit on something, and that's a home run because income replacement. Right now, I'm sure that you're doing good in life. I'm sure that you're making more money. I'm sure, life is changing. Life is getting better. Fantastic, and I'm proud of you, and I'm happy for you. But what happens if things suddenly change, whether it's a car accident, whether it's an illness, whether it's something that just comes into your life that you weren't expecting? What happens then? What happens to your family? What happens to those bills, to that mortgage, whatever it is? What happens then? Not unless you have a way to replace your income is how you're going to make sure to guarantee that your family is going to continue to be all right, regardless of whatever it is that is happening. And I'm not calling anything on anybody, but I'm just being real here. It's real life. So you got yours when you were how long? How old?
I was like 25 years old.
All right. So I don't want to say that this is anything to clap about, but My life, you guys know, my life started changing very, very early. I found out my wife was pregnant at 17 years old. Well, at that time, she was my girlfriend. And at 17 years old, we were expecting our first baby. And I got my first life insurance policy when I was 19. But by 19, I had 2 babies. By 21, I had 3 babies. By 23, I had 4 babies. And not only that, but I had this company that we've been building all this time. By the way, it's our 10th year. So just so you know, Comfort Insurance is going to be, celebrating their 10th birthday, big style. You guys already know we're having a picnic September 7th. Follow us, join us. Absolutely free. You don't have to bring anything. Bring yourself, bring your family, bring everything. We're celebrating life. That's what we're doing, okay? So with that, I just wanted to share my personal experience. And my first life insurance policy was when I was 20 years old. I was actually, it was right after my birthday. So I was technically 20, but I was almost 19. Either way, I started young. I'm sorry about that. I started young. But what I want to get to is that it doesn't matter the age that you're at. It doesn't matter the age that you're in. When I first started, I actually started with the most affordable policy that I could pay at that time. I was 19, going on 20, and I didn't have too much money, and I was building this company or starting to my insurance career, and I knew that I needed some type of coverage. I knew that I needed to replace my income if something were to happen. So I got a term policy. And with that was my first life insurance policy. I got my term life insurance policy. And I have another question for you here. This one's going to be in Spanish. Me están preguntando, ¿hay una compañía de seguro que es mejor que otra? ¿Por qué, si es que hay una?
Ok, es una respuesta que no me gusta dar media respuesta, pero creo que la respuesta sería sí y no.
Ok.
Sí, porque tenemos que, como en Comfort Insurance, ofrecemos compañías que tenemos que ver cómo están financieramente, si son fuertes o si son no tan fuertes. La mayoría de las compañías que tenemos aquí son fuertes. Algunas, los mismos asegurados son stockholders, yeah, y otros no. Porque por eso digo que no son todas iguales. Ahora, que sí son todas iguales, creo que sí, para el prospecto del cliente. De nuevo, si nosotros encontramos para usted, le vamos a ofrecer la mejor póliza de vida para usted. Muchos lugares usted va y es el famoso que llaman cookie cutter, que todo te lo dan del mismo tamaño. No, aquí vamos a analizar tu vida, vamos a ver cuál es tu futuro y te vamos a presentar un plan que esté de acuerdo a tus necesidades.
And that's a problem there too, because, lo que quería decir, el problema ahí es que ese cookie cutter no siempre es la respuesta para todo el mundo. Y a la misma vez, con ese análisis que nosotros hacemos de no solamente las finanzas, pero de la familia y todo lo que está sucediendo con esas finanzas para encontrar cuál es el ingreso que se tiene que reemplazar, lo que les quiero dejar saber es que tal vez ustedes piensen de que no, yo no le voy a decir a este agente seguro, a este man que ni lo conozco, lo conocí en el internet, él estaba ahí hablando de seguros de vida, me llamó la atención, pero yo no le voy a decir cuánto yo gano. No es para eso. O sea, al final del día, tú eres el que vas a tomar la decisión. O sea, quiero que estés claro de eso, ¿ok? Tú eres el que tienes el 100% control de tu vida, pero lo que necesito que entiendan todo el mundo allá afuera es que la razón por que nosotros hacemos estas preguntas y indagamos de la manera que indagamos es para, en realidad, saber que te estamos dando lo mejor para ti. Quiero que entiendan eso. Es muy, muy, muy importante que entiendan eso, porque al final del día, nosotros como agentes de seguros te podemos ofrecer lo mejor, pero al final del día, la compañía es la que tiene que aprobar y ellos son los que en realidad pueden entrar y ver qué medicamentos toma, cuántos toma, si tiene enfermedades, si tiene preexistencias, el historial familiar. Su mamá tuvo cáncer, puede ser que él también. Entonces, cosas así son lo que las aseguradoras van a estar revisando, pero nosotros vamos a estar colectando información para ofrecerte y crearte, so we can actually build something that is what you're looking for, that is going to help you get to your end goal, regardless if it's just to protect your family for the next 30 years, or whether it's to set this money aside and eventually build up something with sufficient value to help you through retirement, help you through an emergency, help you in an investment. There's multiple situations. All we need to know is where you want to go, and we'll give you the best vehicle to get there. That's our job.
Si pudiera añadir algo,
Hágale.
La mayoría de los clientes con que yo hablo, cuando me dan sus finanzas, lo primero que le digo es, yo no estoy aquí para juzgar a nadie, porque yo te aseguro a ti que si yo estuviera en el zapato tuyo, yo hubiera hecho peor trabajo que tú. Lo que estamos tratando de ver es, en la realidad que usted está, usted puede realizar cuáles son sus planes y cuál sería la meta. Y así es como mutuamente vamos a crear una relación donde vamos a triunfar. Usted como cliente y yo como la persona que le estoy ofreciendo el seguro.
Y esas son las diferencias que nosotros aquí en Comfort Insurance estamos haciendo. La mayoría de la población allá afuera ni sabe que esto existe. Solo para que ustedes sepan, y se lo voy a decir en español, porque hay leyes que previenen que esto sea información pública. Hay leyes que previenen que estas compañías de seguro te puedan decir a ti la diferencia que ellos pueden hacer en tu vida. That's crazy. When I found that out, my mind was blown. A donde alguna gente puede decir que es el gobierno, es el sistema, el Matrix. Mira, yo no estoy aquí para decir que me la sé toda, pero lo que más loco es que hay leyes que están previniendo que estas compañías de seguro te puedan contactar directamente, y solamente puede ser a través de un agente de seguro, porque ellos no pueden hacer anuncios. Sí, tal vez puedas ver anuncios de Progressive, tal vez veas Pacific Life, pero Pacific Life no te está diciendo qué es lo que puede hacer para ti. Tú solo ves Pacific Life, that's it. Okay? Y al final del día, lo que les quiero dejar saber es que estas compañías de seguro, en realidad, con las que nosotros trabajamos, con las que Alejandro trabaja, son compañías que están aquí para el camino largo. Nosotros no estamos trabajando con compañías que comenzaron hace 10 años, que comenzaron hace 5 ni 2. Estamos aquí trabajando con compañías que llevan historia real, vidas cambiadas, vidas protegidas, para en realidad poder asegurarle a nuestros clientes que estamos haciendo lo mejor para ellos. ¿Okay? Voy para la próxima, y esta pregunta sí vino en inglés. Nos hablaron de what is term life insurance.
Okay. Term life insurance is a type of insurance that you already know how long you're going to need it for exactly. And then you're going to be covered for that. Now, due to the conditions of the contract or the insurance that you're going to be taking, this provides you lower premiums. That's going to pay a lower amount.
Yep.
But then again, you can buy it for 15, 20 years, depending on the time span that you want it, based upon your needs. Now, once that age or the 15 or 20 years is rich, there's no life coverage after that. Now, in Comfort Insurance, we do work with some companies that, you might be a kind of person that only needs a life insurance for 15 years, but changes happen. And you might say, hey, by the way, Alex, can I change it to a whole life? And we can work with that.
Okay.
And the whole life, again, covers you as long as you live.
Your whole life.
Exactly. And as long as you pay your premiums, of course.
Yes, of course. That's very important. So term life insurance, the thing that I have to add onto that is that's the first policy that I got. Remember how I told you that I got my first policy 19 going on 20, and that policy was a 30-year term life insurance policy. It was $57, but those $57 got me $1 million in coverage. That's pretty neat. That's pretty good. So at the age of 19, 20 years old, my family, if something were to have happened to me, they would have immediately become millionaires. Of course, they would have, I hope, they would have given anything to have me back if something were to have happened to me. But at the end of the day, that was the steps that I was willing to take. Those $57 a month, I would have, I actually, I canceled that policy and got another one because there was actually a better term life insurance policy because I found out I had one of those cookie cutters. So I know what you're talking about. So I had one of those cookie cutter products, and I was early in my career. I was 19, 20 years old. I didn't know until I actually started learning, getting all this knowledge, becoming educated about insurance. Life insurance, I told you, it's my favorite. And the reason why is because I use it for many other things. I do have multiple term policies, and we're going to go into this next question. What is permanent life insurance? And those, I have a couple of permanent life insurance policies. But if you could, Alejandro, give us some more details on what is permanent life insurance.
Permanent life insurance is that you cover until your last day. Bottom line, you have income security. Again, you got to pay your premiums. And depending on the product you have, we can work different ways. And there's different avenues you can use that money for. Sometimes you don't even need to die. Like, God forbid something happens to you.
Yep.
And
right about that.
And I love talking about self-experience. And unfortunately, I have a father-in-law of mine that is getting Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And he's going to need some care now. And guess what? He has an insurance policy where he can go ahead and use some of that money to improve the quality of life for his last years. And again, you have to look at from the side of the patient and the side of the caregiver. Again, if you know about Alzheimer's, you know that's a burden on the family. And having that financial need or to cover home care and stuff is really going to help out everybody out there.
So I have something to add about on that topic. I think I've touched it a couple times on these podcasts. I had a life-threatening situation back in 2019, and in 2019, I actually had to file a claim with my life insurance policy, and because I was disabled for about 6 months, I actually received a little bit over $40,000 in that claim. Meanwhile, I got back in shape, got back in working order. I got back on my feet. So yeah, you don't have to pass away. You don't have to pass away in order to receive some of these benefits. And when it comes to permanent life insurance, I've shared it on this channel a couple times. I use permanent life insurance to save for college for my kids. I use permanent life insurance. I actually, about 2 years ago, or about a year and a half ago, I purchased a home with my life insurance funds. So with that, I just want to let you know that there's multiple companies. It all depends on what you want to do. You tell me where you want to go. My team will find out the best way, the fastest way to get you there. Simple as that. That's why we work with so many companies, because they all specialize in different things. We even have companies, by the way, I want to share this because the public needs to know this. We even have companies that will take you if you're sick, if you have cancer, if you have diabetes, hypertension. Obviously, there is a qualification and an application process. They're going to check your medications, how much do you take, when do you take them, this, that, and the other. But I just don't want you to think that just because you're sick now doesn't mean that you're automatically disqualified. There is an underwriting process, and it's on approval. So if you're approved, you're in. And once you're in, they can't get you out. So with that, I wanted to share my experience with that permanent life insurance product. Like I said, I have a couple of permanent life insurance, and I have a couple of term life insurance policies.
Yeah, I would like to add something
Go
about
ahead,
permanent life insurance.
Go ahead.
It's like, I think giving you real cases, scenarios, what really people want to look at. If you're like a person who just bought a house, You might just need a permanent life just to cover the mortgage payments until it's over. Like, for example, if I have a 30-year mortgage, I can purchase a 30-year coverage in case I die. The house is paid for, so my wife, my kids don't have to worry about it. Then after 30 years, yes, it's done. But after 30 years, my house is paid for one way or another. And that's how we plan things for our customers.
Yeah, there's different strategies. So I appreciate you sharing that. That was very unique. That was very good. Are there any tips or tricks that you would recommend to a new life insurance applicant?
Best thing to do is be honest with your agent. When they ask you questions.
Yes, please, be honest.
Again, we're not here to judge you. And tell us about your dreams. What are your plans? Things change by the minute. Believe me, we know that. And we can work it out and accommodate you. And I think something great that they do here at Comfort and we do all the time is we stay in contact with the customer even after you have signed that policy, because things changes around. You might only have one kid now. You might have two. Tomorrow you might have 3, 4. We need to change that. Change the beneficiaries. You might need more money. You might need more coverage. We can work it out with you. And again, it's everything is workable, and we know how to do the things the right way, of course.
Yeah, I like how you put that. Life changes. Yeah, life changes and ish happens. So at the end of the day, what you want to make sure is that you're taking the steps necessary to, protect your family. Tienes que asegurar que estás tomando los pasos necesarios para asegurar esa familia, para asegurar no solamente tu familia, pero, ¿cómo es que tu familia es asegurada? Reemplazando tu ingreso, porque el día de mañana, si es que no llegas a estar aquí ya más con nosotros, tu familia no tiene que paniquear, no tiene que entrar en una situación a donde tal vez se sientan necesidad de o vender la casa o hay que mudarnos porque no tenemos suficiente para pagar la renta porque tu papá era el que cubría eso y yo solamente tengo suficiente para cubrir la luz y la comida. O sea, no es para estar en esa. No, sinceramente no. Por favor, si te gastas tal vez en una comida allá afuera, y con los precios que están ahora, te estás gastando, si tienes una familia de 4, mínimo, más de $120, mínimo, si te vas a un restaurante. Por favor, no me digas eso. ¿Y cómo puede ser que no se está apartando, aunque sea unas cuantas de esas migajas, de todo el tiempo que le dedicas a tu sea el trabajo, o a tu negocio, o a lo que sea? ¿Cómo puede ser que no se está apartando alguito para asegurar tu ingreso, para asegurar tu familia, para asegurar que si algo te llega a pasar a ti, no te estoy hablando que tal vez fallezcas, puede ser lo que me sucedió a mí, quedé casi que inválido por 6 meses y bueno, la compañía me dio múltiples cheques que llegaron a ser más de $40,000 y eso me ayudó a mantenerme y es por eso que les digo que yo creo en esto, yo sé que esto funciona. Yo sé que en realidad estamos aquí haciendo una diferencia, enseñándole las posibilidades que hay aquí en los Estados Unidos con estas compañías, con estos productos. Pero estos productos financieros, para estar claro, no sé si me escucharon anteriormente, hay leyes que no permiten que estas compañías de seguro te digan lo que ellos pueden hacer por ti. That's crazy todavía. That's mind blowing. Pero vamos a seguir. No quiero quedarme en ese punto que cuando me di cuenta de eso, olvídate que ya ahí es donde yo sabía que estamos haciendo lo correcto. Ok. So, nos están preguntando, y esta también sí viene en español. Hay un negativo de aplicar a una compañía de seguro, un impacto negativo, sea en mi crédito o sea en mi historial de aplicaciones.
No hay ningún tipo de credit check que te va a disminuir el score o los puntos. No, eso no, o sea, esto no es como un préstamo. De nuevo, esta no es la situación que tenemos. Eso no es así.
Ok, so, algo que quiero agregar a eso, y me encanta me encanta que hicieron esta pregunta, y él respondió que para los aplicantes del seguro de vida, para el aplicante no revisan el crédito. Para el aplicante no revisan el crédito. Pero te digo algo, ¿te puedo decir algo?
Sí.
Para los agentes sí revisan el crédito. So, si eres un agente de seguro y tienes tu licencia, pero tienes un crédito asesinador, o sea, malo, lo que te quiero decir es que estas compañías de seguro tal vez no quieran trabajar contigo. Y eso a mí también me enseña con quién estamos trabajando. Porque no todas las compañías hacen eso. Ojo, ciertas compañías, por ejemplo, las compañías mutuas, cuales nosotros trabajamos. Una compañía mutua, para que sepas, significa una compañía que es adueñada por los dueños de contrato. O sea, los dueños de la compañía son los policy holders. Son las personas que tienen las pólizas con la compañía. Y por eso también esos policy holders también reciben dividendos una vez al año. No quiero entrar en muchos detalles, pero lo que les quiero dejar saber es que allá afuera hay compañías donde los dueños son los mismos asegurados. So that's really nice. Y en este proceso sabes que estás trabajando con agentes que hacen las cosas bien, que hacen las cosas correctas, que hacen las aplicaciones como deben de estar. Y es por eso que también ellos revisan los créditos. So, tal vez para los aplicantes no revisen el crédito, pero para los agentes de seguro sí revisan el crédito. Solo para estar claro, okay? So I want to share that one in English because that one I think is very important. The question was, is there any negative impact on my credit or because of the application process of life insurance?
None. There's none. This is not like you're applying for a loan or anything like that. There's no credit checks. When you fill an application, there's nothing to worry about.
So what I wanted to add to that is that, okay, yeah, for the clients or for the proposed insured, because until you actually get approved, you're specifically labeled proposed insured. For the proposed insured, there is no credit check. But for the agents out there, whether it's that you're working with Comfort or whomever you're working with, for the agents, there are credit checks. And that's just simply the company wants to make sure that they're dealing with the right people. And that way you know that you're dealing with the right person. That's why you want to work with Comfort. All right, so we're going to go on to the next one. And this one is a good question. This is actually a very good question. And it's very, very simple. So you'll be surprised to hear how this one comes out. So the question is, how much does life insurance cost?
Again, life insurance is different for everybody. It has to do with your medical history, your past history, your age, again. But I can assure you that the price that we're giving you is the best price for you when you get it from Comfort Insurance.
So I want to add something to that specifically, and it's going to come to that point of cost, okay? He spoke about price. Price is one thing. Cost is another. So whether it's that you're getting your life insurance at the age of 20 or you're getting your life insurance at 50 years old, there is a cost. And the cost changes. The cost does change. But you're going to pay that cost, whether you're paying it now at 20 years old or when you're 50. It's up to you to choose when you're going to pay that cost and how you're going to pay that cost. And one more cost that I want to add to that is there's also a cost of not having life insurance. I think that cost is bigger. And what I want to tell you with that is specifically when you're thinking about life insurance. Trust me, when I got started, I started with a term because I was broke with a capital K and a capital E, brokey, okay? And because of this industry, because of the amount of lives that we've been able to change, that's changed. And Comfort Insurance now is almost national. We're in 29 different states, have about 50, we have over 55,000 clients nationwide. And That's all because we're here trying to make a difference. We're trying to make an impact. We're trying to be known for actually bringing the good name out in insurance. Comfort Insurance is what we do. So there is a cost. The cost is what you make it. Simple as that.
I would like to add something to that.
Go ahead.
And this is the reality of the insurance world. You want to know how good is your insurance? Wait until you have to use it. And then you'll know how good it is. And that's why when I work for Comfort Insurance, you're going to have our backup. Again, I'm just going to use an example. God forbid, you get into a car accident.
Okay.
You need to file a claim. Are the agents answering the phone? Are they going to tell you you can use original parts or you got to use aftermarket parts? How quick are they filing their claims? How quickly are they going to pay? How quickly they are going to take care of you? That's the difference here in Comfort Insurance. We're going to take care of you the fastest way possible. We only have companies that pay their claims on time, record time. God forbid, we don't want you to use it. But if you do, you're going to get the best service ever. And it's not about price now. It's all about value.
Excellent. And well, I'm gonna touch that in Spanish because necesito asegurar que mi gente lo entienda, okay? Él habló sobre precio y la pregunta fue ¿cuánto es lo que cuesta un seguro de vida? Y a lo que yo quiero llegar es que sí, hay diferentes costos. Hay diferentes costos, hay diferentes precios. El costo lo decides tú. Tú decides si vas a llegar a pagar el seguro, vas a llegar a invertir en ti mismo, en tu familia, empezando desde ahora, el día de hoy, sea que tengas 20 años de edad o sea que tengas en este momento 50. El costo lo vas a pagar tú. Sea que lo sientas como un costo menor a una menor edad o sea que lo sientas un poco más pesado a una edad más alta. Pero déjame preguntarte otra cosa y algo que mucha gente no piensa. También hay un costo de no tener el seguro de vida. Entonces con eso lo que les quiero dejar saber es, y te quiero preguntar esto, ¿cuál es el costo que tú estás listo para pagar? Con eso les dejo saber que aquí Comfort Insurance lo que nosotros hacemos es en realidad tratar de mapear y marcar esa diferencia para que tú llegues a ese destino, para que llegues a esa meta que nos dejes saber. O sea, tú me dices que quieres tener X cantidad de dinero para X edad. O sea, hay un plan para eso. Nosotros también tenemos un planes financieros donde te podemos ayudar a incrementar tus ahorros, donde te podemos ayudar a tener una cuenta de emergencia. ¿Tienen ustedes, déjenme preguntarle una pregunta de frente, ¿tienen ustedes apartado 3 meses de emergencia por si acaso sucede algo? No sé, llega un huracán y destruye toda la Florida, no sé, solamente estoy diciendo, ¿tienes un fondo de emergencia? Eso es lo importante, ¿tienes eso? Y si no lo tienes, o sea, son cositas así que se deberían preguntar y analizar y en realidad tomar una decisión, porque al final del día la decisión que llegues a tomar va a tener un costo. El costo lo decides tú. Y con eso, no sé si tienes algo adicional que agregar, Alejandro, pero yo creo que esta fue una sesión muy nutritiva para nuestro público. This was a fantastic session where we talked about almost everything that life insurance has to bring into your life. You know, all the positives, all the good. Trust me, there's a lot more. There's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of tax loopholes. I don't want to get into all that. The point is, life insurance does make a difference. You choose the cost that you pay. And like I said, we're having a picnic September 7th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., Tropical Park, Shelter 1. What I'm letting you guys know is that you're all invited. You're a client or not, you want to think about becoming a client with Comfort Insurance, please feel free to go ahead and stop by. you're all welcome. All right. So Comfort Insurance is here for you. We'll see you in the next run. And thank you, Alejandro, for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Policy.
Thank you.
Hasta luego.